Hi, everybody, and welcome to my space. Happy Wednesday. I hope you're having an absolutely gorgeous day. This is a big week. It's Earth Day, it's full moon this week. We had one yesterday, and it's spring, and it feels like spring here today. It's like, I don't know, it's going to be like 74 today, and it's already gorgeous. It's like 55 or so degrees outside, and it feels so lovely and crisp at the same time, which I love that about spring. I love when the in the mornings when it's still crisp and we have that little bit of chill, that little bit of remnant from winter. I love that. So I am here today to talk all about essential oils. I have based so much of my life around essential oils and what I really call earth's medicine because they really are all medicines that we know in, the Western world, all over the world, really, any Western medicines have come from plants and essential oils and things like that. They got the ideas of them from that and then made synthetic versions, which are fantastic, right? I'm grateful for medicines. Medicines help a lot of people that I love stay here with us. So I'm appreciative of that. And I'm also appreciative of the source, right? And so I love oils. And like I said, I use them daily for myself. I've created my entire business around them. And I know what they do for me, for other people. And I love to share about them. And I think education is important. Really, at the base of everything, I'm a teacher. You know, I was a teacher when I was 4. Like, I remember in my playroom at my little house in our little house in Pocatello, Idaho, in the basement, I had my little desk set up, and I was teaching my stuffed animals and my dolls. Even then, I don't know what I was teaching them. I'm sure I had a lot to say because I always have, but I was teaching them nonetheless. So if you're here, say hi. And if you have questions about oils, put them in the comments, whether it's what I'm talking about today or something else. This is about your time and me bringing information to you. So please ask away. So this is my series, There's an Oil for That. And I love this series that I do because there really is an oil for just about everything that we experience, that we go through, needs that we have. My entire product line, which is like 35 plus, I don't even know, I've lost count of how many products, blends I have now, but every one of them was created for a need that either I had or somebody I love had, or that somebody asked me to create. And then it became, with their permission, a product in my line, and they work, right? If you've got really high quality oils, they work. And I'm talking high quality. And what I mean is, you can buy essential oils everywhere nowadays. You can buy them at Walmart, you can buy them at Costco. Does that mean you should? Well, it depends on what you want. Do you want to have an oil that's just going to smell good? Then possibly. But they are fragrance oils, so you want to be very careful about that because those are endocrine disruptors. And boy, guys, we all need to have our thymus and our endocrine system, our hormones firing at all cylinders. That's what keeps us feeling good. That's what keeps us healthy and vital, right? And so when we use fragrance oils and fragrances, they're endocrine disruptors. So we want to be careful. Okay. That's a topic for another day, though. I'm digressing. Anyway, oh, Nyla, thank you so much. She says Michelle's oils are fabulous and they work. Amen. I appreciate that. Thank you, Nyla. Nyla's been a huge supporter of my business in all the ways, and I appreciate that, Nyla. Thank you so much. So there's an oil for that. So today we're talking about essential oils for this spring season because as we move from winter to spring, and it's still kind of wonky, right? We're still getting snow in areas. We're still getting hail and rain. And I mean, rain is spring, but we still get cold temperatures. And so we want to be really aware that, It's like just because the first day of spring was a month ago doesn't mean that it's all gone. And we can have some individual wonkiness moving from season to season. And just because of who we are, we're human, we're spiritual beings, we're energy. There can be some wonkiness in feeling completely grounded in the season. And this is where essential oils can really, really help. We all have our own rhythm, right? We all have our own seasons that we really resonate with and that we feel at home in and comfortable in, right? But we also want to know that that can change. And even in the season, we can feel some wonkiness because we're energy. And we've got our own energy that is up and about. And then we've got the energy of the collective, right? Everything, all the astro energy, all the planets and all the stuff that's going on around us, it can affect us. And so sometimes we can feel really grounded in the season and sometimes we may not. All right. So I'm going to be looking at the properties of some select single oils that that just are calling to me that I think are important. These are all grounding oils, and we're going to kind of get into some specifics about them. Okay, and so we're also going to look at the element of this season. Okay, the element of this season. And what this season governs. So, two pieces of the spring season are the air and the mind, right? Which the element of air controls our mind. It actually moves from our heart chakra, which is the bridge chakra. It's the bridge between the chakras of matter and the chakras of spirit. So, air as an element governs our heart center and up. So, our throat, our communication, our brow, which is our intuition, and our crown, which is our connection to the divine. Okay. When this area is balanced in the season and within ourselves, we move forward with faith and with confidence. It's like we know what we want, we know where we need to go, we're on our way. When it's not balanced, we have too many thoughts. It's like toilet brain, right? And it paralyzes us into inaction, right? We can't find our way forward. We can't find our way forward. The other one that governs this season is wood, okay, the element of wood, and wind, which is similar to air, right? And this aspect is often called the pioneer, right? That's the kind of the archetype that goes with this, with the wood and the wind. The pioneer. This governs the gallbladder meridian and the liver meridian. Very important, right? Because the gallbladder is all about how we process fats, and the liver is how we process the toxins, right? And when the gallbladder meridian is balanced, we're in love, we're in deep acceptance of others, others' actions, others' beliefs, others' thoughts, meaning that we don't really put a lot of stock in it. Like we allow people to be people and we don't judge or, it doesn't bother us. Kind of rolls off our backs, like, rolls off of us like water off a duck's back, so to speak. When it's not in balance, we feel a lot of feelings, a lot of heavy feelings, a lot of anger, possibly rage, frustration, things like that. That's the gallbladder. When the liver is balanced, we're happy, we're cheerful, we're at ease, we feel excited about life. When it's unbalanced, we're annoyed. We show a lot of anger. We have a lot of we feel heavy, we feel sluggish. We just feel like we can't quite move. And let's see. Joanne asks, is oregano oil good for flu-like symptoms like sore throat, cough, and colds? Absolutely, 1,000%. Oregano is such a powerful oil, and it's very antiseptic. So it's good for a wide range of things. It's good for colds, flu, viruses, bacteria, candida, all sorts of things. Now, I'm not a doctor, I'm not prescribing. I'm suggesting this is my experience of what I know. So there you go, Joanne. Absolutely. I love it. And you know what I love to do with oregano oil is put on my feet. Love to put it on my feet. So if you use the oregano essential oil and you want to make sure that you've got the highest quality oregano essential oil, I love to put that on the bottom of my feet or my ankles. The feet are the most permeable part of our body, so that really absorbs and gets to work the way that it needs to. If you want to use oil of oregano, which is different than an essential oil of oregano, the oil of oregano is it's manufactured in a different way. It's a different part of the plant. And it's also very potent and very strong. You can use that like putting some in some water or some juice or something and drinking it, but really, really good. Okay, so back to our season. And thank you for that question, Joanne. I appreciate it. Guys, bring your questions to me. This is your time. Let's talk and learn. So spring, when we know that spring, we love spring because we're coming out of a really challenging time of winter that's all about death and letting things die and letting things kind of move away. And we're coming to this time of new life and new beginnings and rebirths, right? And so we really want oils that are going to help us with this, right? Oops, sorry guys. I thought I had this off. Let me turn it off. I apologize. So we want oils that are going to support us in those new beginnings and that new life. And in order to be a pioneer, right, to move forward with faith and confidence, we have to be grounded. Grounding and embodiment is the key to it all, right? It's really the key to so much of life. I've been finding that out lately in my journey with block therapy that I'm in, which I absolutely love. It may be for you, it might not be. That's okay. I'm absolutely loving it. And part of what I'm loving is the grounding that I am finding. I've always been a grounded person in a lot of ways, but I've kind of come at my spirituality from an airy, mystical, kind of airy fairy type of way in a lot of ways that wasn't really grounded, which is great. I've loved it and I learned a lot. But in these last 3 months, I have found an embodiment that I've never known. And what that really is I've dealt with my foundation in amazing, amazing ways, like strengthening my foundation, my feet, my legs, bringing my feet and my legs into proper alignment. And that has allowed me to feel more safe and secure in myself than maybe ever in my life, which is a real gift. And so we cannot underscore the importance of embodiment, right? Seeds need earth to grow. Good soil, solid soil, nutrient dense soil, right? And that kind of earth is the best when we're talking about growing seeds. And it's the same way with us, right? And when we want to embody that pioneering spirit, we need to um, have a real solid foundation, right? In order to be willing to experience this new life, these new places, being willing to walk, right? It's important that we're embodied. We've got to be fully embodied. So when we're talking about oils and embodiment, we're talking about not sure why I can't say this, low note oils. Okay. So those are the heavier note oils. They're a little more dense. They move at a slower vibration. If you think about our lower energy centers, they vibrate at a really slow rate. And the first three energy centers are all about embodiment, right? And us really being comfortable in our human self, which is being embodied, right? And so sorry, I just lost my train of thought when I was thinking about all those energy centers. Ooh, yeah. So they are they're very low. They're very dense. These are the evergreen sector of the oil families. They're very grounding, and they all impact us on a physical, emotional, mental, and often spiritual level, which is what we want, right? We want the biggest bang for our buck with anything that we do because and this is what I believe wholeheartedly, if we are going to spend our hard-earned money and our super precious time, because time is not a renewable commodity. We don't get it back, right? Whatever we're doing right now, this is it. So, speaking of that, I appreciate you guys being here with me and taking your precious time to spend time with me. But we want to make sure that whatever we're spending our money and time on is going to do what we expect it to do or what it says it will do. And so we need those high quality oils. All right, let's see. I think I've got oh, Nyla, did you tag someone? That's awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Nyla tagged a friend. Yeah, you guys share this. If you have people that you know that need this information or would really benefit from this, share it with them. Now or later, whatever. And I can't say enough. Like my YouTube channel if you can. Subscribe to it. Do all the things so that my algorithm gets better. I don't know how it all works, but it does. So, all right, the first one that I want to talk about is cedarwood. Okay, so cedarwood is one of those beautiful woods that is very, very, it's kind of like the grandfather of the oils in a lot of ways. It's great for meditation, clarity of mind. It's also really good for promoting restful sleep. And the Native Americans, and I'm talking about the emotional, the mental, and the spiritual benefits right now. I'm going to talk about them in two sections: the emotional, mental, and spiritual, and then the physical. Okay. So the Native Americans use this all the time to enhance spiritual communication. And I love this because when we're talking about our spiritual communication, right, which is the one of the seventh chakra and one of the chakras of spirit, our connection to the divine, we have to be grounded in order to have like a really deep connection. We can have a connection that's kind of there or there sometimes, but to have like a deep connection that is ever present, we need to be fully embodied, right? Um, so cedarwood also fosters feelings of security and protection, calms anger and nervous tension. It helps our overanalyzing mind to settle down and to smooth out because it helps us to drop from the space of our mind down into the space of our heart, which is all about embodiment, right? It brings strength in times of crisis. And if you think about what I love about this is when it brings that strength in times of crisis and that clarity, it's like a tree, an old, tall, super strong tree that just stands tall and doesn't fall over. It just maintains its integrity through the wind and the storm and all the things. That's what we want. So physically, cedarwood is great for asthma, coughs, lymph drainage. It's also a great insect repellent. Okay, so it does all those things. Really an amazing, amazing oil. Okay, now we're going to talk about pine. I love pine. One of the things that I love so much about being back in Colorado Springs are all of the pines. I didn't realize how many pines are all over the city, and they're not really planted. They're natural in so many areas. There are just pines everywhere, and I love it and I appreciate it because pines and I are like this. They really nourish me and ground me and give me just this oomph of all of it. So, pine is an evergreen, like I said. And so this is the emotional, the mental, and the spiritual aspect of pine. And if we think about a pine, pine reaches up really high to heaven, right? It reaches up so high sometimes we can't even see, right? Like if we're in the redwoods, right? Or the sequoias, they're so tall. They reach right up to heaven, which is the goal for many of us, or hopefully for many of us, most of us, that's what we want, is to have that connection with the divine. The pines also provide a lot of protection for animals, right? So lots of little critters find housing and protection in these trees. And so we get that same sense from the trees. We may not be living in the trees and creating our house in the tree, but we get that same sense of housing and protection. And it brings a boundary for our self care versus caring for others. So, what I mean by this is if you are overgiving or you're taking care of everybody else at the expense of yourself, pine helps to rein that in and bring us back to knowing, oh, I need to take care of myself. And not only the knowledge of, oh, I need to take care of myself, but then what is that self care? So, pine is really great for that. Physically, it's great for circulation. It really helps us to have open circulation, open flowing circulation. Good for sore joints and muscles and arthritis. It helps us to absorb nutrients better. It's great for our kidneys and intestines and helps them to filter out the waste and the toxins. And our kidneys, this is really important, our kidneys are all about fear, right? So it really helps us to be in that space of trust and feeling protected, which is very essential. And it's a disinfectant for the air and for all the surfaces in our house. So pine is a powerhouse. The next one I want to talk about is spruce. So spruce is beautiful as well. I love spruce. I love to make a blend with, I have a blend, quiet, that has a lot of the evergreens in it, right? And it's interesting because we don't necessarily think about it, but quiet is for, I created it for use mainly during winter, but it's anytime that we need stillness and quiet in our life. And when we are fully embodied, we're able to be more still. Okay. So those two go hand in hand, embodiment and stillness. It's almost impossible. And it's an act of frustration to try to be still and not be grounded, right? When you're ungrounded, stillness is elusive. When you're grounded, it's right there for you. So, spruce. So, when we're talking emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, it grounds us into our solar plexus, which is all about our personal power and our confidence, right? So, this is not about being conceited or thinking that we're all that in a bag of chips, even though we all are. It is really about just being grounded in your personal power of, oh, this is who I am and this is what I'm capable of and moving towards it, right? This is the pioneer spirit. It really is about moving into new territories and kind of exploring the edges, right? Of who you think you are or who you think you aren't, right? Um, it stimulates our thymus, which is right here, and all about our hormones. This is the house of our hormones. And that's really important for so many things. It's important for mood, it's important for regulation of other systems in our body. And, as it's vitality, right? Our vitality is deeply connected to our hormones. So it also helps us to learn how to not only be a giver, but how to be a receiver. And this is really important because a lot of us have shut off those channels of receiving. We're very comfortable giving. We give all day. We give all day. But when it comes to receiving, we're like, ooh, not too comfortable with that for a whole host of reasons that, maybe I'll do a show about that because I think that's really important. I'm going to make a little note about that. Show on receiving. Love that. Okay. So very important that we have a balance of knowing how to give beautifully and knowing how to receive beautifully. And spruce helps us to that. And what it really boils down to is it's all about grounding us into not only that solar plexus, but into our all the energy centers that are from the core down that really help us to be safe and secure and protected, right? When we feel safe and secure and protected, we can receive. That's when we receive. So when we're at our best receiving. It also helps us to heal emotionally because it helps us to push through emotional blocks that we have or resistance that we have to healing. Our human can get in the way a lot of times, and spruce can help us to just kind of quiet that part of us so that we can really find the healing within that we all want. You know, um, a lot of us have wounds, right? A lot of us have wounds from life, from growing up, or just experiences that we've had in life that, it's trauma. We're still in trauma, I believe, post traumatic stress syndrome. We're in current traumatic stress syndrome with everything that's going on in the world. There's a lot of trauma that we're faced with on the daily. And so it really serves us to know what supports we have in our toolbox, right? That can help us through these times. So spruce is a beautiful one for that. So physically it's great. It's an anti-inflammatory, it's an analgesic, meaning it's a pain reliever. It's great for our respiratory system. So anything that you've got going on in the respiratory system, pneumonia, asthma, just allergies, all those things. And also for our endocrine system, which again is the hormones, right? That's the thymus. It's great for our thymus and our thyroid. And it also, what I love about it, it has this like really soothing, balsamy vanilla element to it that's so soothing for us on all levels, emotionally, physically, spiritually. So it's just a powerhouse as well. The last one that I want to talk about is cypress. So cypress is, I love cypress trees. They're very popular in like the Mediterranean area, and with good reason. They're incredible. Um, they're really symbolic of life after death, which I love for the spring season that we're in, where we're moving from the death of winter into the new life of spring, right? And so perfect for that time. So emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, they're helpful in times when we have to face a separation. So this could be a death of someone. It could be someone moving away, losing, the dissolving of a friendship or of a relationship of some sort. It's really helpful in soothing those parts of us that have that separation anxiety. Opens us up to spiritual direction, which is so beautiful and so needed. And what I love, this aspect, I love, love, love. I've used it for myself for this aspect a lot because, oh boy, have I ever had a lot and still have a lot of them. But it really helps us with that inflexible unwillingness to bend attitude that we can have, right? That nope, this is the way it is, and this is how it is. And I'm not talking about feeling that way about things that we know are in our highest good, but when we're not willing to open up to new possibilities, when we're not willing to open to new ways of seeing or being in the world, that's the unending inflexibleness that I'm talking about that doesn't serve us. So it helps us to soften that. And it helps us to be grateful with what we have, which I absolutely love because gratitude brings more, right? Gratitude is an abundance consciousness. I've been talking about this a lot. Gratitude is an abundance consciousness. And when we're in gratitude, it just brings more abundance, right? So abundance consciousness brings more abundance. Lack consciousness brings more lack. So every day, it's a beautiful thing. We have the option to choose what's in our highest good, right? What will bring us to this space. Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm sorry, but I just have to take a moment. I'm a little overcome with emotion as I just looked up and saw my space. Those are my mom's quilts in the background that she made by hand. The purple one that's right over there on that small wall was the first quilt she ever made. And the one behind me, didn't plan on crying today, but what do you do? And the one behind me is a handkerchief quilt that my mom made that she took, 9 of her hankies that she personally chose for me and then made a quilt out of them. And I'm going to move a little bit so you guys can see that beautiful one that's in the middle right there. That is a hanky that has Lily of the Valley on it. And I have such a connection with Lily of the Valley. I actually have a Lily of the Valley spray that I use all the time. And talk about connection to the higher realms. That's what Lily of the Valley is all about. Anyway, I digress. Sorry about that, but all of a sudden I just noticed and I felt her. So thanks, Mom. Love you. Anyway, and this is my first live or anything that I've done in my new room. This is my new office. This is where I'm doing where all the magic happens for me, where I do my meditation and my journaling and my block therapy and my lives and my readings and all of the things, the creation for my products. It's all happening in this space. So I really appreciate you guys being present for my first one here and this very special room. Anyway. Okay, so let's finish about Cypress. So physically, it's a decongestant for the lymph, our lymph system. We all need to move our lymph and decongest as much as we can. It's a decongestant for the liver, the pancreas, and the prostate as well. It helps us when we've got water retention. Cypress helps us to get rid of that water and to move it out. It's also great for cellulite, for menstrual cramps, and for the effects of menopause, which, boy, anything that'll help us with the effects of menopause, I am all for. Also bloating, right? Because it helps with the water retention. So it's great for menstrual bloating. It's great for menstrual cramps and any wound healing that you need. Cypress is a powerhouse. So, of course, I can't leave without saying, talking about my own personal blends that I have created that incorporate these single oils and really will help us find that grounding and that embodiment and that pioneering spirit that spring is calling us to embody. So they are, all of these help us to balance our minds and to move forward with confidence and really bring a stillness and a softness to our mind, to accept others, to detoxify the liver, to be happy and at ease. It's all good, right? And I wanted to tell everybody, go to my site, michellesnelling.com. Don't forget, Michelle with 1 L, Snelling with 2, because my entire site, all of my products are on sale this week. We're celebrating Earth Day. We're celebrating the full moon, and we're celebrating the fact that Earth Day is on the 22nd, which is a master number and my favorite number because it's my birthday. And so I'm celebrating with you guys by giving you 22% off of my entire site. And if your order includes any refill sizes of my sprays or my scrubs, you will get a bonus product chosen especially for me, intuitively, for you, for what you need right in this moment. So if you want your own personal prescription, let me know. I'm happy to do that for you. You can message me. You can email me. The email's right there at the bottom, michellesnelling.com. Or you can message me on Facebook. You can reach out to me any of the ways. All the channels work. And I would be happy to give you your personal prescription for spring. If you go on the site and you don't see something that you want, let me know. It's available. Maybe it's just not on the site right now. But 22% off. And the code is, I'm going to put the code in here because it is, you have to use the code when you go to the site. So it's Earth Moon 22, capital, all caps, Earth Moon 22. Okay, so let's talk about my favorite blends to use during spring. And some of these, and again, these are about the embodiment, right? And the air, both of it, the embodiment element and the air element. So Earth is my first one because this is the premier tool for embodiment. Over and over again, over and over again, this is the truth. And I find this not only with myself, but with all of my customers and clients that use Earth. I get more comments about Earth. Well, I'm going to say the two that I get the most comments about my products are Earth and Voice. Those two are phenomenal. All of them are phenomenal, but these two um, really are a powerhouse. And Earth is so beautiful for embodiment. If you're having trouble sleeping, you got to try the Earth blend. It is incredible. Um, and to me, this is the blend that we all need in these really uncertain times when we're not sure what's happening. We don't know what's happening with the financial market. We don't know what's happening with the housing market. We don't know what's happening with our food. We don't know what's happening. Name a thing, we don't know what's happening. It's all uncertain. Makes us feel wonky, ungrounded, and scared. So Earth, my Earth blend, embodies us, brings us to that space of our sense of safety, our sense of security, our sense of stability within ourselves, not with things that are outside of us, right? It re anchors us to the deep roots of that safety, that stability, and that confidence that is within us, which is so important in these times. And like I said, if you're having trouble with sleep, this is you got to try it. It's phenomenal. I use it all the time at night. I spray it on my feet and ankles and my pillow. Restful, regenerative, beautiful sleep. The next thing that I want to talk about is balance. Balance doesn't get a lot of press. And I'm not sure why. It's kind of the unsung hero. I use balance before I meditate, before I journal. I wear it as perfume because it is the most luscious, soft, soothing, beautiful scent. And I love to just wear it all day. And I get compliments constantly when I'm out. I mean, I get compliments. People are always asking me, like, oh my gosh, you smell so good. What are you wearing? Well, let me tell you. But when I wear balance, it's especially potent, and the compliments are even that more forthcoming. And what this does, it's for overall alignment and bringing flow to our physical, emotional, mental, spiritual self in general. Okay. Um, and it's really just good for all the energy systems. If I know that I need, like, if I have two or three or more energy systems that I want to work on, I reach for my balance because then I don't have to use like four or five different oils. I've got one that will do the trick beautifully. And I love, like I said, I love to use it when I'm doing anything of a spiritual nature or just like an emotional, like journaling, meditation, block therapy, yoga, anything like that, even walking, because it just opens us up, brings us into alignment so that we can then receive all the goodie, all the yumminess that we want to receive. So I love balance. Air is the next one. And of course, the spring is governed by the element of air and wind. So of course I have to include air. I created air for spring, right? I created it as the element to accompany our spring season. So of course I have to include that. And I love air because what does air do? It helps us to take those heavy thoughts and soften them, right? So when our heavy thoughts are out of control, this is the prescription for them. This is the antidote for when we want to lighten up and move from rain clouds to soft, fluffy, light summer clouds, right? And it's really great for the heart center and up when we're talking about energy centers. So, guys, do you have any questions about any of these blends I'm talking about? Seems like we've kind of dropped off the comments, but if you're here, let me know. I would love to hear what you have to think about earth, balance, or air. Have you used them? Have you tried them? What's your experience with them? If you haven't, which ones do you want to try? Okay, and the last blend that I'm going to talk about is actually the first blend that I ever created purposefully. The first blend that I created was Invigorate, but that one wasn't purposeful. Clear was intentional. I had created a salt spray for the office that I was working in to clean and clear all of the residual, energetic debris from the people that I was sharing, the practitioners I was sharing the office with, their clients, my own, all the people in the store, all of it. I created a salt spray and I loved the effects of it. And I'd recently learned that I could use essential oils provided that they were of a certain quality. They had to be really high quality in order for me not to have a reaction, an you know, allergic adverse reaction to them. And so I thought, wow, this salt sprays work so well. I wonder if I could create something that would smell really good and clear the space as well, be like a partner with the salt. And my clear spray was born. And so this is like spring cleaning in a bottle. I love it. I use it constantly to clean and clear energy, any gunk from anywhere, closets, rooms, cars, airplanes, hotel rooms. I don't travel without my clear ever. I don't go anywhere without my clear. And it works like magic. It's also wonderful for kids that are having night terrors or having problems during the night, waking up and scared of, like, things that they aren't sure. It clears it. And then they have peace and they can go back to sleep. So it's great for heavy energy clearing. Like I said, it's like energy spring cleaning in a bottle. And what I love is it cleans out all the old, the heavy, the gunk we don't want, and it makes room for us to fill the space with our intentional energy that we do want, right? Because just like a garden, if we don't have a lot of plants in a space, there's a lot of room for weeds to come. But once we clear it and fill it with our intentional plants, there is no room for weeds, right? And that's what the clear spray does. Cleans and clears so then we can fill the space with our intentional energy, and let the space be light and clear and clean. Okay, guys. So, what questions do you have? Does anybody have any questions for me today? If not, then I'm going to say goodbye. And thank you so much for being here on the live or on the replay, whichever you're watching. I appreciate it. And let me know if you have oils or questions about oils that you would like answered. Hit me up and we'll talk about it. We'll do a little live about it and get your questions answered and get you the education about the oils that you want. So don't forget, it's really easy to get caught up in the airy part of spring, the very ethereal part, but we don't want to do it from a place of being ungrounded. We want to experience spring from the place of embodiment so that we can really embrace that pioneer spirit and that spirit of new life and moving forward with confidence and grace and surety. So thank you guys. I love you. Appreciate you. Talk soon.